Let's speak now to Liam Daly, a senior economist at the Centre for Economics and Business Research. Liam, thanks for your time. Do you think this decision by the ECB, the Bank of England, not to increase interest rates despite rising inflation is the wisest one?
Yes, I think the decisions today, both by the Bank of England and the European Central Bank, is very much in line with expectations, with both banks dealing with the conflicting challenges of rising inflation and sluggish growth in both areas. There's significant uncertainty that's been caused by the war, alongside surging energy prices. And so at this point, as Governor Daly said, we're no longer talking about interest rate cuts, but more of an active hold and the door now opening to potential rate rises later in the year.
I mean, really, what are the prospects for growth? We've just heard from Lee Genoir that there are all these scenarios that they're planning for, which points to the fact that it is such uncertain times.
It is indeed. I think in both cases, growth prospects, both in the Eurozone and in the UK, are subdued. At CBR, we're expecting UK growth of 0.8% this year and not much better at 0.9% in the Eurozone. So given that businesses are going to be responding to a slower path of monetary easing, we do expect growth to be subdued.
Brent crude oil reached a record high earlier of $126 a barrel. Yes, it's pulled back, but it's still really high. If prices stay high for long, how long do central banks really have before they absolutely have to act to control inflation?
Well, they'll be keeping a very close eye on the secondary effects as they emerge in the coming months. However, clearly they don't have a long time to make a decision on this. That said, we've seen a high amount of volatility happening in the Middle East, so things can change very quickly.
What's your best advice for consumers?
It's a challenging time for consumers. I think the rising energy prices are obviously being felt, not least at the petrol pump, but in a number of other areas. And compounded to that is the fact that labour markets are softening. So this is a time when governments probably will be taking action to try and shield consumers from these rising costs.